Welcome to the Blue Lake City Council meeting. Today is Tuesday, August 25th. Go ahead and please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Staff, can you please establish a quorum?
Mayor Slonsky.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sclafani. Here. Councilmember Bayless. Here. Councilmember Luso.
Yeah.
Councilmember Napier.
She is absent this evening. Great. All right. We'll go ahead and open up for public comment on closed session. Does anyone like to speak on this item or any of these items?
Let's see, I'll cover the city public employee performance evaluation. I'm holding off on that one. I always do one for the supervisors, so may give it some more months here, maybe when I get back from Mexico. Conference for labor negotiations. I don't know if that's some kind of pay situation going on, but I think she's justly compensated. Now I'm going to get down to the big one here. I need to do a PRA request for the complete Danco file. Apparently, there's been major renditions lately that I haven't possibly seen in their project. Whatever's available to the public, I want to see, especially communication regarding any kind of changes from the original agreement. I spent some time on that original agreement, and I would like to get a copy of that for sure. I just pulled out certain pages of it back when I did my review, and it's quite clear that the purpose of this is existing mixed-use development of approximately 40 multifamily rental units, 39 of which have other criteria here to go with that, and 20,000 square feet of light industrial. And apparently, I didn't see the most current rendition of their thing. About a year ago, I looked at it. I was not allowed copies of it. I couldn't take pictures of it. I just had to go see it in the office there, and it was nowhere near what the original project was. And so it says approximately here, but approximately is within 10%. I mean, these were deliverables, and if these aren't there. The other thing, when I went over it, the deliverables said that this project was completed, buttoned up and done. I think it was December of 25. That was part of the time schedule that was on here. Don't know whether I think one extension might have been given by our ex-city manager, Amanda Mager. So I need any of those communications because unfortunately, I feel that the agreement might have been tainted. Number one, I don't know if the process was followed, whether this was declared to be excess property. That's not the term, but basically, it had to go through a process. It's something we didn't need and we were going to sell. It was to be a lease of, I think, over 25 years, IRS determines to be an equivalent of a sale. And so it actually was a sale. I want to know if process was followed correctly. I don't think Danco have done their due diligence in this project any way, shape, or form. And I do have a concern in it because I have the opinion that our ex-city manager, Amanda Mager, was trying to slant the agreement. The agreement was drawn up not in the city's best interest. I did not see that drawn up it wasn't drawn up by our council, but it was reviewed. And I think the council who drew it up more for Danco's benefit than our own because of the slant, Ms. Mager. So I question that. And once I get done with this, I'm going to do an assessment to see whether there is a potential litigation in the private sector as far as litigating against Ms. Mager, Danco, and a few other people that would be named in the particular suit. None of you. This has nothing to do with what you've done, but it's past things like the ex-mayor did and things of that nature. Something's not right in this process. And if you're being told that Danco is going to cash out for $200,000 or something like that, we'll get a loan, cash them out because the property is probably worth $2.5 million or something like that. So why take something with no benefit?
Time's up, sir.
Thank you for my opportunity to speak.
Anyone else on Zoom? Just want to make sure before we entertain a motion to go into closed session. Okay. Anyone like to make a motion to enter closed session? Motion made by Sclafani. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Bayless. All those in favor of going into closed session, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. We're going to closed session.
6:30 is when we re-adjourn?
That's what we're attempting.
Oh, good.
All right, we're coming out of closed session. There was no reportable action. Let's move on to the next item. It should be noted that Elise Scafani is out of the room and she expects to return shortly. City Clerk Green, would you please just establish a quorum one more time?
Mayor Swansky,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Scrofani. Councilmember Bayless.
Here.
Councilmember Lewis Lusso.
Here.
Councilmember Napier.
Absent. And Scafani said she will be back in just a moment. Is there, can we entertain a motion to approve the agenda? And actually, I think we need to let the public know ahead of time that we are removing items 11, which is the bike and skate park grant, as well as the fee waiver policy due to Councilmember Napier not being here, who is going to present. And City Manager Short, can you fill us in on the grant application information, or should we wait until we get to the item itself?
You either need to leave the item on there and I'll
Okay.
tell you why, or
What do you prefer?
I would say you leave it on there and I'll explain why
Okay.
I propose no action.
Great. All right, great. So we'll postpone item number 12. And have item number 11 remain.
Okay. I would move to approve the modification of the agenda.
Motion made by Louis Lusso, seconded by Bayless. Any public comment on the agenda? Seeing none. All right, we have an agenda. Let's vote on it. All those in favor say aye.
I
Opposed? We have an agenda. And it should be noted that Scafani is out of the room. I won't keep repeating that. Public comment on non-agendized items. Does anyone wish to comment on information, or the public's invited to present petitions, make announcements, or provide other information to the city council that is relevant to the scope of authority of the city of Blue Lake that is not on the agenda. The council may provide up to 15 minutes for this public input session. To ensure each individual presentation is heard, the council may uniformly impose time limitations of 3 minutes. Would anyone like to speak on public comment? Yes, go ahead.
I attended the supervisors meeting and the topic does come before you, so it is something of significance to you. It's unmet transit needs. For a long time, I felt that we need to have a transit thing from here to get us to airports without having to fly at $278 a round trip with United. So I brought this to the supervisors today because Reading went ahead and put in basically it's called the Gold Runner, and it leaves at 9 o'clock in the morning and 1:20 p.m. It turns at 4:40 p.m., 11:40 p.m., stops at Red Bluff, Orland, Williams. So this is a way to get to connectivity to Sacramento. And so I'm hoping when it comes to unmet transit needs, and you guys have input at HCOG and things, you bring this to their attention because they're able to provide that, and our distance would be just about the same to SFO, and the charge is $23. And that's less than 10% of what we're paying the carbon imprints, less nice buses you ride on. So anyway, when that comes before you someday, I hopefully any of you participating in any of your other forums and stuff, such as HCOG, I think is the main one. I've been trying to get them to do this for 10 years. Maybe they'll finally realize what we need here. We can't fly out of here on so many times. So I did also talk to Tom Matson today, Director of Humboldt County Public Works. I said, Tom, how many eminent domains have you been participating in as far as the county on people's properties, county-wide, but not the cities, obviously? He said 1 in 27 years. So it's a common practice in some things, but it's not a common practice in a lot of them. John Ford, Director of Planning and Building, said he wasn't aware of any of them. Of course, he's only been there for about 10 years. Anyway, I think that's probably getting close to my 3 minutes. Thank you for my opportunity to speak on these non-agenda items. And I did wish to make eventually comment on the city manager report at the end of the meeting. Thanks for the opportunity to speak. Elise is here.
You know that Elise Scafani has entered the room. All right, any further public comment? Go ahead, Justin.
I've sat in a lot of these meetings for a very long time. And for the first time at your last meeting, I got really pissed Mr. Mayor, you read that letter. You opened the city up for possible litigation. You really need to watch what you say about people. Please stop opening this up to litigation. You talk about division, you're sowing that very division. You want to talk about working together? Fine, but stop sowing the division. You talk about people owing people apologies. You're sitting right next to a person who sat there and called a fellow council member an a-hole, and only after being called out gave a halfway apology. To this day, that person has yet to apologize to the people that voted that person in. The public is owed an apology, I believe. Don't do it now because it would just not be at the right time. You guys really need to stop sowing the division, stop opening up to litigation, and let's move on and help this city move.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Julie, go ahead.
I'll try my audio first. How's it going?
Good to go.
Okay. Always so much, but I'll just start with our last speaker, Justin. The same emotions, but I feel that the transparency with facts, not using defamation, nothing that was said, I believe, opens us up for liability. But I think the division is the fact that people don't get to hear many versions of the truth. They get to hear one version. They don't are able to come to their own conclusions. They're not attending the meetings. They're not seeing what has happened in the past and what really is productively happening now for our future. I do heavily promote Elise and Nona for our next candidates for council. I know they're going to be critical thinkers and work for the city instead of the division. The other two candidates, undoubtedly, given their track record with the city and communicating with their constituents, they've already made it very clear they're only going to work with one viewpoint that is not positive. Something positive. Public safety meeting last night. Great presentation by Len Glenn. A lot of work for the safety fair coming up on September 12th. We've been working with Humboldt Maid and the other chambers for the county to have an event also that day. Thank you, Kent, for your donation under the Swatsky family. We also got one from McKinleyville Arena and then from the Christie family as well to make sure their fee was covered for that event as well. So they're all people that want to help out and participate. Thing with participation, I was only one of very few people on HCOG and the county planning last week. So anytime anybody wants to join on those platforms or pay attention, it is important because things come back to us to adopt, and being knowledgeable about the items like the climate action plan, the camping stuff, is even more and more, but being knowledgeable about those before we adopt them. Crescent City just did a big thing, their council, where they're actually working together really big with the rest of the state to tell the state, hey, these housing mandates are unrealistic, and we should support some of these things, I think. So keep positive, everybody. That's the real thing. And actually communicate and work together. It's amazing how much stuff happens when you can do that. Right on.
Thank you. Becky, go ahead.
All right. Can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Okay. I just actually want to agree with Julie with everything she just said. She just took it sort of right out of my mouth. So, and thank you for everybody and all of your guys' hard work and everything else. So thank you.
Thank you. Last call for public comment.
I have something I'd like to share.
Sure. Are you going to go up front or are you going to speak here?
I can go up front if you want.
I'm just, doesn't matter.
I just received word of the death of a neighbor. And I just wanted to share it because it's somebody that served this community. Donna Acosta died today. And I just want to ask you guys for a moment of silence for Donna. She was on the planning commission many years ago. And I tried to recruit her recently in the last year to do it again. She said, no way. But she was a cornerstone of our little neighborhood and a great lady.
Thank you, everybody. Last call for public comment. All right. Moving on to item number 9, approval of August 11, 2026 City Council meeting minutes. Any corrections?
I didn't look. I have to rely on Michelle and perhaps Terry, see if there's any mistake.
I would move to approve the August 11th, 2026 City Council meeting minutes.
We have a motion. Do you have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Bayless. I need to take public comment on the minutes. Does anyone wish to public or comment on the minutes? Seeing none. All right, motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. Moving on to item number 10, commission vacancy updates. City staff, will you fill us in on this item?
To provide brief update. So as you guys know, 4 of our 5 commissions have vacancies. At the end of July and then at the beginning of August, I received 2 resignations for commissioners for the Public Safety Commission. So they're now down to 3 out of their recently 5. And so one, I just wanted to make that formal announcement to let folks know if they're interested or know people interested in wanting, to join a commission to come by City Hall or go on the website and application that way. And then also just wanted to see if you guys had any input or direction regarding, I know there's conversations about consolidation of commissions, so I don't know if that's something you guys or the ad hoc would like to meet and discuss, recruitment ideas, yeah, so I just wanted to give that little announcement. And I provided what we post for the Batty Act, and the Planning Commission actually, Court Pryor, his term ended in June of this year. And I had reached out to both of them to see if they were interested in continuing with the commission, if we were able to get more members. Matthew Sheng, who is still good till 2028, said he was interested. Court Pryor expressed being interested if approached by the council, and felt that even though there hasn't been a quorum for a planning commission, you guys have been acting as a planning commission, that there hasn't been any inclusion of the planning commissioners to maybe provide comments or potential feedback on planning matters. So just feeling like maybe the council, as commissions that serve at the leisure of the council, maybe that is not something you guys are interested in. So willing to reconsider, but yeah, and I thought that was helpful information.
I did think about reaching out to him, but I also was hesitant to, make contact, so to speak.
So would that be something that we would invite as an agendized item or ask for a private meeting with an ad hoc or?
I think just having them here, kind of how we have other presenters, or not presenters, but other people, who come and just give additional information on different items, I think we could, extend the invite saying, hey, we have this on the agenda related to planning, if you're interested, or, have availability to come and provide comment or, yeah, I don't think I would have to take a private meeting. I think it would just be like, is it right for here and could provide additional context with information, but it was just something he had expressed and I wasn't aware that could be an option, but I mean, it makes sense.
But only one of us should probably reach out, or two of us at the most.
Yeah, or staff, I didn't even.
Got it.
Well, unless there's some reason why we shouldn't do it, I think that when the council is acting as the planning commission,
Mhm.
we could invite them to attend that meeting
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and offer comment.
Yeah.
And I've thought about that before,
Mhm.
but every now and then something sneaks in on the agenda, and I don't realize we're the planning commission for that particular item until it happens.
Yeah,
But I think that would, unless there's some reason why we shouldn't do it, then that's something that I think would be a courtesy, and something that could be beneficial to the discussion, because we're all kind of flying blind.
I like that idea.
I don't see any reason why not. Jenny, you have any input on that? But-
No, I think that'd be good, and I think we
Yeah.
could treat them just like we do our city staff and also the applicants. I mean, they're not subject to the 3-minute limit, and they get a chance to actually talk about the application.
Right.
Would they, I mean, probably check all our rules on that. I mean, I don't know, but I just, or they would be as, and yeah, I guess if they were an advisory, yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe, for commissions in general, and it kind of, some of the commissions don't maybe need to meet every month.
Mhm.
I don't know if they were meeting every other month, if we'd have any more people willing to serve on them.
Mhm.
But that's something I've thought about over time, because every now and
Yeah.
then we're having a meeting and we're kind of talking about the same stuff we talked about the month before. And
Yeah, it seemed like they weren't having like monthly meetings. It seemed like.
planning commission, definitely not. Yeah, planning commission is an as needed thing,
Mhm.
but all the other commissions are a
I would say
monthly.
Applying that same kind of.
Well, not just, maybe, yeah, like instead of having four, if our commissions were full, we'd have four or five commission meetings a month. But maybe, like somebody said, oh, they don't want to, the 2 meetings a month for the city council is a huge commitment. Well, maybe people feel the same way about commissions. Maybe if we had, 6 meetings a year instead of 12,
Mhm.
people would be more willing to serve. I don't know.
So with court's position being vacant, I mean, is it appropriate to ask court specifically to the meeting to comment on a planning commission
Well,
item?
yes, with that, in like that, its term is not ended.
Right.
But I think it was prior.
However, in that particular commission, the commissioners remain on the commission until they're replaced,
Oh,
if their term expires.
oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Fair
Little,
That's actually written into the municipal code.
great. I guess I should.
But-
read up on that.
So unless they resign.
Okay,
Yeah, there's actually, a
Gotcha.
clause in there that
Okay,
says
perfect.
it's a little different. It's the only one that says that.
Okay. So,
And you
yeah.
can double check, make
Yeah.
sure I'm not making that up, but yeah.
Do that.
Okay.
I have a question about the commission vacancies. So I
Yes.
noticed that the new board is up in the town square.
Yes.
And did we end up doing both sides or is there just one?
There's 2 bulletin boards
Okay.
and there's a project sign, and we're still working on the mosaic art installation.
Okay, and so the two, will one be more community news
Yeah.
and one will be?
One will be
city?
city, and then
So would it be possible, because sometimes I think, you post these, but
Mhm.
is it possible to write up something that might go on that board? That
Yeah.
just might let people know how important it is to the city and
Yeah.
what it's all about.
Yeah.
That might be,
And I have a request. I saw the posting on social media today saying that they were up and the one facing south was the cities and the one facing north was the community. But I wonder if we could flip flop that. Because I was really hoping that bulletin board would catch people's attention when they come
Okay.
out of the post office.
That's the side, that's the cities is the post office side.
But the social media post made it look the other opposite.
Who's, Emily.
Anyway, okay.
She goes.
We're getting off topic, friends.
Anyway, just because, I mean, I'm just, I'm just hoping all those folks that can't
Yeah.
get in the post office.
Was the intent, was the
Catch
post
that.
office side where the parking and everything else is was gonna be the city side. There might have just been a mistake in the post.
Does the council wish to entertain reviewing the super commission again? Do we wish to continue as is, and as people come, we fill in those spots? What is the council
I think,
input?
I mean, for right now, I would like to actually provide direction to ensure that any planning commission issue topics that are agendized get special invitations to the planning commission folks. I would like to settle that piece. And then as far as the super commission idea, I don't,
I'm wondering too, like, when we have a planning commission item, is there a little bigger flag we could put on it?
We can make it a separate section on the agenda that would be like acting as the planning commission agenda item and then discussion and action items separate, so it's more delineated.
That would be appreciated.
That's what we do at HCOG. At HCOG, we reconvene as different boards. So we,
Ends up in back there.
I mean, not really, but we're reconvening as the HCOG board and,
Cheers.
yeah. But yeah, so we could do something like that. We're convening as the planning commission. Anyway,
I'd like to maybe try to come up with some sort of a recruitment plan.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be I'd call people up and say, hey, how about you? Is it your turn yet? And I was pestering people and I got some folks to do it. But if we could come up with some sort of concerted effort and some way to try to.
I feel like after a while, it kind of become part of the background, so yeah, I'd be interested in, any to consider.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe at some point we have
I mean, I think we can honestly handle everything by ourselves. I think if we want more community participation, sure, have the commissions, but if nobody wants to participate, we can't I don't want to throw a bunch of resources into asking for people to participate either.
I don't think a big effort has been made. I mean, I feel like anything extraordinary has been spent on trying to recruit commissioners.
Maybe some advertisements, quick advertisements. Hey, we're recruiting, but I think we've done that already, right?
Yeah. Tell your friends.
Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, I think continuing and using social media. Social media with a link to the maybe to the Radiac page. So people see what it is, and we talked about that, the old Madiac notice that had a lot more information about each commission. Some of those kinds of blurbs that are kind of easy to digest and give people a little bit more to think about when they see the vacancy.
Public comment.
Well, court prior, consider this be the only hand engraved gold leaf invitation to come to these meetings and speak. It is one of those things that is a little bit questionable. The planning commission normally, like with the county and the supervisors, have a firewall between them, because if a decision's made and there's something appealed, then it goes from one to the other. So you don't normally find the planning commissioners participating in the process in this particular forum. But especially if he's no longer on it, I think it's great. Your recruitment for that position, you're going to find possibly a lot more interest if you do a general plan update, which a lot of that goes to the planning commission. People are going to want to have input, because that's a very important part that affects everybody. And at that time, right now, as we can see on your agendas, you really don't have much coming before you. So there really isn't all that much of a load as far as that goes. Difficult thing to get people to go to. Definitely when you recruit, say it's as needed, and it's only been needed 3 times in the whole last year or something. So they wouldn't have that many meetings to attend. I assume you guys have maybe done 3 different times. You had the comfort job and a comfort thing before you, not much else. So anyway, good luck with recruiting. there seems to be a lot of apathy in a lot of things these days. It's hard to get people to run for council. It's hard to get people to be on these different things. I think that if you had a little bit more of a varied thing, I think a super thing where you actually had three of these things combined, try it that way. If more people join, you can split them back up later. I think you have some people that would be willing to participate cross lines on those things. So that's a suggestion I think you might want to follow through on. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
All public comment. Julie, go ahead.
Oh, it's me and Kent tonight again, you guys, but really appreciate our opportunity to speak on these items. Michelle, you had great comments. When it comes to like planning items, I would just suggest if you guys are reviewing them without planning commission first, that we always get two presentations of that item so that we're given that, 60-day, 30-day comment period for the public, and then it's brought back. Making sure those things are in line so we get public comment in. Here's a thought and idea. I had this already in the past that we have like a little venue day that we could have all the commissions with little booths and make it so people can walk around and check stuff out. Well, we could really quick. I've got to pop up in a table. I'll volunteer. I think I got time. But on the August 12th date, or excuse me, September 12th date, when we're doing the safety fair and the Chamber Humboldt Maid event, maybe just have one pop up. I know the safety commission, Ted said last night at the meeting, they were going to have one. But maybe one just next door that has all the Maddie Act stuff, Elise was mentioning, and just some information that when people cruise by, like say, hey, would you ever be interested in being on a commission? It's a great opportunity for that outreach, and it's like right here. It wouldn't take much to put something like that together for sure. You guys know how to get a hold of me if you need the support. But my next thing would be for commission consolidation. We need public safety and we need the planning commission. The others, yeah, they can be absorbed within those, and other factors are just agenda items at the meetings. Because I always felt like having the additional commissions somewhat spread out our volunteer capacity. And maybe that little quick consolidation, but we cannot lose our safety and our public, or excuse me, our planning. That's super important. So, yeah, let's just be envisioning making it work, and supporting people doing it, I think would be the first step.
Thank you. PR, you had your hands up. I just want to make sure you no longer wish to comment.
Hey, it's Emily Wood,
Hey.
Parks and Rec abbreviation. I just wanted to comment that it was my mistake on the social media and I just fixed it and swapped the comments to reflect the city side facing the post office.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Emily.
Thanks, Emily.
Of course. Have a good night, everyone.
Yep.
Can I, I just wanted to ask Julie if Julie wanted to be on a commission.
Touche.
Come on, I want to see some claps there, Julie.
Sure, I wish, but if you guys saw what I had to do every day, you would know. I love you guys though.
Does the council wish to provide direction to staff? Does staff feel like they have direction?
Should we bring back the consolidation idea? It looks like we have a full Parks and Rec. We have a pretty full Arts and Heritage. Our Economic Development Commission is quite low. So I don't know.
I feel like we should get through the election and revisit the idea after the election if our participation remains low. I think it's too soon to be talking consolidation again. Keep beating that horse, and I'd like to give it a little time.
Might get people to sign up for commission though, if they're worried that they're gonna consolidate.
I don't
one
think
thing
so.
I would like some direction on is, I know we've talked about amending and updating the ordinances related to commissions, and I don't know if that's something we wanna wait for. I've talked to Ryan about kind of what that would all entail. I just don't know what the deadline on that is, if there is one, and so.
I mean, if we have time and we have today's a pretty empty agenda. If you think that there's an opportunity, could we have it prepped and ready to go? What's the project timeline that it would take to spin up and spit out, so to speak?
Well, with the 2 meetings a month, it's a little hard, just the turnaround time. But I mean, I guess it just depends on when you guys want to see it. I mean, I would think that I could have it, you know, if we met on the fourth Tuesday in September, from now until then, it'd be.
It seems like we should save that till after we decide if we're going to consolidate, because
kind of
we'd be
like-
doing a lot of work that you wouldn't need to do if we were consolidating, so.
Which is, I just want to make sure that.
So
That's true, but I did like having those identified, like the purpose, the vision, the, you know, all of the different descriptions of each one. And if there was a way, just a thought, is the way my brain works, to have a spreadsheet comparing, like, what do the purpose statements look like? What are the objectives? I can't remember all of the elements that were on those descriptions and the meetings and the requirements
The
and
membership.
term membership, all of that stuff. Just like for an at a glance kind of visual, I just seem to do better
To have.
with
for
having things
council.
consolidated. Yeah, just for information purposes.
And we presented that before, previously when we were looking at realigning the commissions, so we should have that on file. So
Okay, like easier,
I
yeah.
should be able to find it somewhere too.
because actually changing it, it's the municipal code, so actually changing it requires, you know, two public
Yes.
hearings and all that stuff.
Okay.
But having a draft of what it might look like, you know, is not changing the municipal code, but it's something that we could have a working draft. You know, and utilize that for recruitment.
Well, if there's, a slight agenda like this next time, I can certainly have a draft of that,
Mhm.
I need to review.
Great.
All right, any further discussion or direction? Seeing none, moving on to item number 11, or excuse me.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes,
So for item number 11, Emily did a lot of work on putting all this together and getting prepared. We've been working on grants in general, not just this one, but the state parks per capita grants as well. And Emily had sent an email to the project manager for this funding source, clarifying some of the requirements because it is federal funds for what NEPA crosscutters would look like. And because of the answer that we got back this afternoon about what those are going to look like, our phase 2 part of the bike park would be ineligible for the federal funding. So we would like to just pull this item completely. The grant will come back to you as a state parks per capita grant later this year.
Great.
Okay.
So this particular source is not appropriate for.
Right, because of the federal nature of it.
Any discussion? Seeing none, public comment? Seeing none? All right. Bring it back to council. Moving on to the next item. Item number 12, we're going to postpone that item because Councilmember Napier, who was going to present that, is not here this evening. Moving on to item number 13, 7th cycle housing element. City staff, will you fill us in?
Yes, so the reason that your agenda is tonight is that this day would have been set aside for the public hearing for the housing element. And so we really want to make sure there was a bunch of other stuff on here because we thought that was going to take a couple hours to take care of. But because HCD had not yet issued the data packets for the AFFH analysis that's necessary for our initial draft, I had reached out to HCD and explained the situation and that we couldn't have a public hearing without having a completed document. And, you know, like there's all these dominoes that fall when the first thing happens. And so you can see in the table that I presented in here, the original dates that were in the MOU agreement that we have with them and the approved extension dates that I confirmed with them last week. So, if you guys are available on October 6th to have the public hearing for the housing elements, that would be ideal. Plan West believes that they'll have everything in place to be able to do a 30-day circulation prior to that. And then they'll be able to actually have the public hearing be the closeout, more or less, of the 30 days. Within 14 days, we then submit that initial draft to HCD, and the timelines are very regulated from there on out.
You said August or October 6th.
October 6th is their preferred. They can make September 29th work if absolutely necessary, but that makes it really tight for them to take the data packets that we got on Friday and do all the processing and have it ready by next week.
I will be, I'm not available.
Okay,
October 6th is what we're requesting.
that's what they would prefer, yes.
And this is HCD coming here or is it?
No, this is just Plans West doing the public hearing on behalf of the city.
Thank you.
And that would be at a council meeting.
Yes, correct.
Would it just be for, can we just have it for that or would it be a special, I mean, sorry, would it be a special meeting or just designated for the
Any
public
meeting
comment?
other than the fourth Tuesday is always a special meeting, even when we're doing the second ones. So it would be a special meeting and it could just have that one agenda item on.
Okay.
Could it be in the evening?
Oh, yeah, it would be in the evening like.
Okay. Like at 6:30?
Yeah.
I'm
So
available.
we're having a meeting on September 22nd, which is our fourth Tuesday in September. And then that would be 2 weeks later.
Correct.
And then we'd be having another meeting on the 27th of October, correct?
As a regular meeting.
The fourth, our regular meeting on the fourth Tuesday. So if there was any other pending item on the 6th, we could add that to the public hearing.
You can, I mean, that agenda could technically have anything you'd like on it as a special meeting.
Okay.
And if something was to come up between now and then that was time sensitive, we could add it to it.
I think I'm available. And so what parts of October are you not available for most of the month?
Do you feel like it's necessary to be there?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you, I think that's something if the public's gonna be commenting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily.
Not that you're not important.
No, no, but I understand needing to be able to move forward with this.
So I'm available or I'll make myself available.
So at least we'll have a forum.
And then, but our regular meeting for October is the 27th.
I don't have a calendar in front of me. Is that
No, it's a
Tuesday?
That's the fourth Tuesday.
Sorry, yeah, 27. Yep.
That's correct.
Normally, our special meeting would be the week following the 6th.
That's right.
So long as we're not having 3 meetings in the month.
Right.
All right.
6, 5, 12.
The July 14th, 2027 deadline is actually written into statute. And so that's part of why when I backed this up, we went as far as we could, but we can't really go any farther than October 6th
Okay.
and still meet that milestone.
Gotcha.
So because HCD is HCD that has caused this delay, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So because of that, in the future, if we were not able to meet a deadline, could we bring this up at a later time or
That's pretty much what I've done the whole time.
Okay.
As circumstances have dictated that we don't have what's necessary to move forward, they've been really good as long as I communicate with them and explain what's happened and why. And then, of course, they're checking with the HCD staff that's responsible for producing the information. They've been really good about approving the extensions.
Great. Any other questions, comments, or concerns before I open up the public? Public, would you like to comment on this item? Julie, Christie, go ahead.
How's my audio?
Great.
Awesome. Sorry. So just for clarification, so everybody else knows, AFH is the assessment of fair housing. That's meant to identify and eliminate patterns of housing like discrimination and segregation. And why I made my comments earlier about looking at what Crescent City Council wrote to the state and stuff, because it's really falling back on the delinquencies and these unrealistic expectations of the state housing mandates. But honestly, I'm glad they're going on to Danco, because you guys, if you want to talk about AFH, what are we doing here? Yeah, I'll be back. Thank you.
Thank you. Last call for public comment.
I'm going to emphasize again, one of the biggest things in our community is to keep a rural atmosphere in Blue Lake. That's not large buildings. Someone who wants to do an affordable housing project that would fit in Blue Lake might be suggested that there happens to be a Danco project down in Rio Dell where there are small little tiny cottages and it looks a little bit more like a company town. And that's something that might actually qualify as following our general plan. So I also did notice, I guess, the constraints for that were that we have to enlarge our sewage capacity through aeration and things. Apparently that's being done in partnership with the tribe. So that won't be a criteria that would be somebody else's duty to do to satisfy for that. And I wanted to thank the tribe for their participation, in helping us using their electrical engineer, possibly power grid connection and other things that they're working with. So thank you.
Thank you. Last call for comment, questions, comments, or concerns?
Nope.
All right, moving on to, do you guys need direction on this? We have the date set.
Setting the date.
Okay.
I was hoping for.
Item number 14, council correspondence. Do we have anything? City Hall new hours update, is that our correspondence?
It was, yeah, just information for you, so you knew what we were up to.
All right, moving on to item number 15 and item number A, city manager's report. Staff, will you fill us in?
So I am not sure if you want me to go through this or if you've read it and you'd like to ask questions. I will update you as far as operations goes. Today I went out and spent quite a while on Hartman Avenue with the Public Works crew because for probably the fourth time since I was hired in January, we had a major backup in that section. We have problems with, there's somebody upstream that's putting flushable wipes into the sewer system, which is causing clogs. And we had a camera go through last time it happened, and we found two places where we have a pretty significant offset at the joints. And so I put together today, when I got back to the office, a sketch and sent it out to the 5 contractors that we have on the list for informal bids. And we'll get quotes back from them. And so depending on how big the quotes are, those will either come back to you guys or I will make the call on who to contract with. But it's going to be a significant unexpected expenditure out of the sewer fund. We are going to upsize the pipe that's there as a 6-inch clay pipe right now, and we're going to increase the size of it to 8-inch in the 100-foot section that we're going to replace to try to minimize the likelihood of future clogs happening right there. It's one of the few places in town it happens. Once it gets past that, it doesn't seem to clog up anywhere else, even though it's the same wipes. So more to come on that item.
And that is all in the right of way, I'm
It's
assuming.
right down the middle of the road. And my plan is to allow the contractor to close that one block from Blue Lake Boulevard to A Street and provide a detour. It is so narrow there and the manhole's literally right in the middle of the road. And so I don't think there's any way they could have equipment and a dump truck and, but they'll be able to get it done in one day. Okay.
Can we, I know there's probably going to be more discussions about the report, but can we push a PSA,
About
flushable wipes?
Yeah, we actually are we've decided that one of the ways we're gonna combat this is we're gonna send a postcard to every single customer that directly deals with this exact issue, and we're gonna send it at the same time we send out our billing this month. And we're just gonna start doing this like twice a year, because the cost to us this almost always happens on a Sunday afternoon. I was glad it was Tuesday morning today. And we're paying a full crew overtime wages to try to clean this up. So, yeah, PSA for sure.
Is there any way to identify residents and deal with it, or is it just like a?
Letter that's going to a subsection of the customers that will be a little more pointed.
Okay.
And we all pay for it.
We do, but it's unfortunate that they market those as flushable. I can understand why there's confusion, and they very clearly say that on them, and so.
Don't be threatening litigation.
We're not the only systems like this.
Mhm.
It's a problem. But anywhere you have old pipes like this where they're clay and they're rough, you have more trouble than you do where you have newer pipes that are PVC and smooth and the joints are all beautiful. Ours aren't.
So does those clearly don't break up?
No,
So,
they ball it into this nasty pile.
yeah, do they get filtered out in the,
They do. We have a screen that they go through down here before it goes through the pump station. And then we also have a number of screws out there that run the whole time that break things up before they go into the ponds. You should see the pile of stuff that comes out of the sewage that then goes in the garbage.
Okay.
Question.
Okay.
Then there are numerous development projects that are subject to cost recovery, which are significantly past due.
Yes.
What's going on there?
So each one has slightly different problems. Some of them we are in the process of working through where the developer is demanding backup information. The way that the cost recovery invoicing was done previously is unless the developer specifically asked for copies of SHN's invoices to be attached to the bill that then showed what work had been done on their project, those were not being sent. They would just get an invoice that said, you owe me this amount of money. Some of the developers have pushed back on some of those things. They've asked questions. One of them wanted clarification as to what had happened. And then when SHN put together, a few sentences explaining why they had been billed, they were like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And then they just paid. But some of them are old. One of them's Danco that's quite old. Some of the other ones, the developers are struggling to finish their project.
So who eats that?
So far, we're not eating any of it. There was one where they came in and they explained what had happened and they brought their paperwork. And, this all happened before I got here. So I'm always trying to sleuth out what really happened. They were quite upset. And in listening to them, we came up with a methodology where we wrote off 1/3 and they paid the other 2/3. The way that this works is they sign an agreement at the beginning that says the city manager is going to give them an estimate of what the total is going to be. And if it goes over that total, we're supposed to notify them before we do any additional work, but that wasn't happening. A deposit was being put down based on the tables that were in the old 2011 or whatever resolution, as though that was the amount they were going to have to pay. And then when they went over it, they just kept incurring charges without actually talking to the developer before they move forward. One of the things that we've done since I got here is we updated all of those deposit amounts so that they're more based in reality. And it's more unlikely that you'll go over that amount early on in the project. And if you are going over it, something's probably gone wrong and the developer's going to know what it is, as opposed to the way this is so it's really a matter of cleaning it up. I'm trying to eat as little as possible, but we have to be fair with people too.
And just to reiterate, people were not notified that they were incurring additional charges.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, Jenny, I was wondering on the town square construction project. Were we able to use some of that additional 132 to pay for the art feature? Was that?
No.
Okay.
We actually have probably 140,000. It was in the last update I gave you on the finances. We paid for out of pocket. And so all of the expenditure for the art installation and the sign will be borne by the city. The bulletin boards ended up being free because, bless Emily's heart, they came in late and she contacted Amazon and they said, we'll refund all your money. So good job, Emily.
How about that?
Wow.
The sign is $80. I mean, these are not big expenses.
So there's more additional costs above what we'll get reimbursed.
Right.
For the 130.
This $132,000 in change was incurred in fiscal year 24-25, and it just hasn't been requested for reimbursement yet.
Okay.
Can I ask a question about the easement?
One
In your report?
more specific.
Is that going to be a publicly available document or is that a private?
Which one?
The response.
Response. All of those documents are public. I actually talked to Ryan the other day about this, and I'm looking at finding a place on the website to place them all because these are filed with the court. So they are open court documents. Both the original inverse condemnation lawsuit and the First Amendment will also be posted on there. And then when the city has a response and it's been filed with the Superior Court, it'll go up there as well.
Do we have any response from CAL FIRE about the brush clearing? And
Not yet, no, unfortunately.
For Green Waste Day on the chips, were there takers?
I don't know, I think
there
so.
were some, I witnessed some of that.
Okay.
And I would have taken some, but the timing was just bad for me.
And people can come get them other times. There's a pile outside now, right? Or did you do it
I don't
inside?
know, it was inside when I saw it. And I had a little chat with Jacob about that when we came up with this idea that we could have a coupon book and people could come into City Hall and buy a book of chip coupons, and then maybe once a month we're open for 3 or 4 hours and people can come and turn in their chips or turn in their coupon and get a load of chips. What do you
I don't
say?
even want to charge them for a coupon if they'll put it away. Yeah.
Make it really.
Yeah. And you know, if we can get enough people to come and take the chips away and we do green waste at the same time, I mean, it's kind of a win-win for all of the residents.
Is there one more green waste day planned maybe?
Yeah. We were talking about it. We probably are thinking one of the first weekends in October.
End of October.
Maybe we're doing that, yeah.
And if someone was going to be there on that day and could give out chips, is there any way we could widen the circle of people who outside of Blue Lake to come and?
I don't want to take outside of Blue Lake's green waste.
No,
They
I
can have all the
know.
chips they want.
Oh, I was.
But
Chips.
yeah.
If someone was going to be there on that day.
Yeah.
To give people chips anyway.
Yeah.
Then widen that.
Or if we put piles of chips outside and just we can publicize that that's free.
And I think that's the long-term plan. I think when I talked to Jacob about it, you know, we talked about putting them right outside the gate that's down by the fuel pile versus, he's like, well, if I make a pile inside, then I can put it on people's vehicles while they're here. And so he must have chosen to put them on the inside for now, but we'll get some outside too.
Yeah.
I think people will come just fork them up and put them in trash cans and take them home.
The stuff I saw the other day was really wet.
So, yeah, it's good.
So, I mean, yeah, so that is pretty heavy loads. Is it all like that or is that because of the firefighting?
Don't know. When I was out there, there was a lot of water, but it was after the fire.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments, or concerns for city staff on her report?
Any more developments in terms of discovery of sources of rainwater that's being diverted into town from the county or?
No.
Not raining.
We're still looking for sources.
Just one thing on your report indicates that we are going to have a meeting on October 15th.
Where?
For the Blue Lake Truck Route Phase 2, last page, or almost last
Oh,
page.
that's not you guys. That's the California Transportation Commission.
The engineering funding to that agenda. Okay, good.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, no, sorry for the confusion. That's not even a Tuesday, is it?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's just originally we were gonna be on the August meeting and we got bumped to October.
okay, okay.
That's the
All
update.
right, just checking. Getting a little twitchy with my meeting schedule. Thank you.
All right. Last call. Public comment.
Under citywide operations, I wish to thank the staff for trying some different hours. See how that works. That's really appreciated. May take a few tries to get what works for everybody, but that's a great thing to have on here. Also, the traffic calming on I Street, I wish to really thank you folks for taking the action you are rather than roundabout speed humps and making it a multi-million-dollar project. Thank the Old Crows for what they did. It does look amazing. The one thing that I did notice when looking at it, we have some electrical panels that are right at the back of that. And it'd be nice if we could screen off the whole, what used to be the Hunsinger portion of the property there. But at least those electrical panels, if we could get some kind of screening, if you're down there and look at it, you'll see a little, you know what I'm talking about. So, let's see, we dealt with that one already. I personally, I don't know how many of you people, but according to what we have here, it's intended to notify Cal OES that the city's concerned regarding possible imminent failure of tank 2 during the lengthy review process based upon the condition of the tank. I'd like to see, I don't know if you guys have seen it. I'd like to see pictures or something so the public will be aware of the condition of that. If sometime there could be a presentation with pictures, some people might want to go tour, but as far as I'm concerned, having some kind of a visualization as far as the condition of that particular really important asset would be helpful. Blue Lake truck route. I have hammered them a whole bunch of times about the most important part that they don't seem to be interested in changing. And that's to make this trail crossing safe down there. So I'm going to object to that project until such time as somebody addresses that in some form. Because that's the main potential hazard. We have some kid on a bicycle getting run over there. Let's see. And then regarding that truck route, a future allocation request will be completed and construction funding once the right-of-way and engineering efforts are completed. I highly recommend that if people's property is to be affected by this particular project, that they be given notice real soon. If they find out last minute that somebody's going to want to take a piece of their property or something like that, you're going to get some major pushback. You want to go ahead and have some time to convince them it's in their best interest as far as that goes. So in here, it refers to the ad hoc committee, I think, engaged Danco regarding revised project proposal intersection to bring a mutually agreeable proposal to later public meeting. Highly suggest that they consider, like I said earlier, they're going to have a proposal that it kind of follow what they did down in Rio Dell. Apparently that works for them. And I think that pretty well takes care of my concerns on that particular part. There was one other thing.
So you're gonna have to excuse me, the alarm's not going off and that.
Perfect. There it goes. After that, thank you.
Next speaker.
Dr. Collins, I tried to find Greenway State. Like the day before, I was like, pretty sure there's one. I went on the website and I couldn't find where it was anywhere. So is it posted somewhere on the website? I found the one from May, but then I didn't find any updated one. So,
Circulated it,
and then it popped up on Facebook, but that was like the day after it happened. So just I couldn't find it.
I think we're not utilizing our news function on the website as much as we could and probably should.
Oh, it's in news?
It wasn't, I don't think, but I think it should have been. So I think that's something that we should be thinking about for, you know, items that aren't gonna that get flagged other ways. You know, recruitment, you know, you used it for elections, you've used it for lots of different things, but I think it's something that we could use more.
And in staff's defense, the website's kind of a little bit funky sometimes too. There's stuff that you would
It's
think is on
special.
one item and then not on the other, and makes a match. So,
Now we have a bulletin.
Parks and Rec, go ahead. Accident, Emily?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. I was wondering if I would be able to work with Elise on the website to get our future greenway stuff in the places that are appropriate with Andy. And also last year we did a sandbag training for the stormwater. I was wondering if that would be of interest of the public or council to do again with staff and the public.
Future agenda item?
Well, that's, I mean, I don't know if we need an item for that, do we? It seems like a good idea later, like November-ish maybe. When it starts raining and people get a little worried, we get a good turnout.
I think there's a group that's going to the training at the Rancheria on September 4th that's directly related to that.
Right.
Julie,
Well,
go
that's all I
ahead.
got.
Okay.
Yeah, and always happy to work with you on the website, Emily.
Thank you, Elise.
Julie, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll jump in. Thank you, Emily, Rebecca, Kent, for being there and giving your comments. And this was a really lengthy manager's report. However, thank you, Jenny. You gave a lot of information that I wish we could have a whole special meeting on, right? But we can't do that. I'm just going to give you comments. I don't have questions, but I'm going to give you quick comments. You know, for those clay pipes, you guys, those should be lasting us like 100+ years. So yes, please try and figure out how to keep making them last. The chips, on 2.99, they're dumping them out on Essex all the time. And I think that's a great way to do it because it's gone, The roadside stuff is perfect because I don't think Public Works should, they've got enough to do. Okay, we don't need Jake and them and Chris out there having to load people. That's great. People love that with my compost. I spread all mine in the last 3 days. So it is time to get rid of that stuff before winter hits. It's a great time to get rid of it. But I'm also going to do what Kent did and kind of go through the items that Jenny gave us, like the Danco thing. You guys, I still don't feel right putting housing down there. It isn't right. It's not the right location. Look at the flooding. We can't, and look at the imprint with the setbacks on the creek and the bike park. And we need parking to get those kids off the road. Maybe we put the parking over at the industrial area, but you're still going to have your heavy use. And that's why the truck route bugs me. Thank you, Kent, for bringing up the right-of-way stuff. Where's that coming from? I've listened to everything Mike Fogut has said about this, which has been slim and none. And never have we brought up a topic of a right-of-way. That's really concerning to me. The tank thing too. So much misinformation out there for the public. Really, really unfortunate. And yeah, thank you to the Rancheria for stepping up connection right-of-way stuff there. But we still have a lot of other stuff for infrastructure. And, it'd be great if Dave Farrell with the watershed could get in there and, we got a report from Jenny, but tonight we actually have time to get a report from him. And so, yeah, I appreciate everybody's due diligence and the clarity, but let's also bring these factors back into discussion. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Last call for public comment. Seeing none, bring it back for items B and C. I'm going to combine the two together. Go
Can
ahead.
I go back and ask Jenny, are there any right-of-way issues for the second phase of the truck route?
So just to provide clarity, right away was also
Sorry.
acquired for Greenwood when we did the phase one. And so the right away plans have not been produced for this area down here yet. It was included because there's a need for a surveyor to reconcile the property boundaries with the roadway and the design and verify that we have all of the right of way. That should always be a part of a roadway project, is verifying that the construction you're doing is in an area that you have the legal right to do that in. As I explained to Kent earlier today, those plans don't exist yet, and SHN won't start them until Caltrans has authorized this funding through the CTC, because that's how we end up getting reimbursed for their efforts. So when information is available, will be presented. I mean, as you guys will know, it's transparent.
Right, and the general presumption is that we already have right-of-way in the areas we need it. We're not.
I think that can be the general presumption, but I don't know if that will be true. Some of the stuff in Blue Lake is very, very old, and you're talking about an area that's adjacent to where there was railroad right of way, which always is complicated. So I don't want to give you the impression that there's 100% certainty that there won't be any right of way issues, but I can tell you that we need to verify it before we move forward. When you looked at the plans that Mike came and presented 2 or 3 months ago, and Jordan was here and she kind of showed you the footprint, you can see that the construction that's being done is basically on top of infrastructure that already exists. So the likelihood is that if any right of way is needed, it will be minimal. Okay.
Thank you.
As soon as we know, you'll know.
Yeah.
So,
I just run with the general assumption, well, all the roads down there are pretty darn wide, so I'm assuming we already have what we need.
Any other questions about city manager's report before we move on to item B and C? All right. If it's okay, we're just going to combine those two together since they're pretty relevant. Ad hoc committee reports and commission updates. Do we have any ad hoc updates?
I don't think so.
Nothing here. Commission reports?
We had a Public Safety Commission meeting last night. We're getting all geared up for the safety fair, which is happening on the 12th of September, right here in the parking lot. Lynn Glenn has been hard at work to get that all dialed in, and we have lots of participants, and we're gonna do touch a truck. There's gonna be lots of agencies here with vehicles, so the kids can get acquainted and learn things. The Rancheria is gonna be present and have a booth where they have some sort of a bleeding dummy or something where they teach people how to do tourniquets.
Cool.
So, that's gonna be available. Yeah, and the sheriff's office will be here and it's shaping up to be fabulous, and there will be a free lunch. The food is provided by the Resource Center, and it's gonna be cooked and served by the fire department. And that's most of it.
Cool.
And if people have any cool stuff they want to put in the raffle baskets,
Mm.
if you got some stuff that you're thinking, ooh, fabulous raffle item, you can get in touch with me and I will get that to the right place because there will be raffle prizes.
Are they just baskets in general? Or?
Well, there's gonna be one, I think, where items are purchased. There's gonna be like a big basket or the prime basket, but then we're doing, a little bit more stuff. They're buying some safety swag. And I'm not sure, I'm not part of that plan or planning, but we're kind of trying to expand it beyond one raffle prize. So if there's some stuff, that's safety-ish or Blue Lake-ish or whatever.
Exciting.
Yeah, super fun. Everybody should come and have a free hot dog lunch. It's gonna be very nutritious, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Any other commission reports?
I read it, our meeting was scheduled for last night and due to sickness, it was canceled. And if anyone does know when the chamber meeting is, I have not been put back on the list. I tried every website they have. Because, and I don't belong to Facebook, but I can get on there enough, but there is not a list of dates, times, and it's been changed so many times, I honestly.
I think they went with the third Thursday or something. And I think that is actually on, I saw it somewhere. I think it's on their website. It's sunnybluelake.com.
They're also not allowing me to post to their webpage anymore, so. Anyway, the mayor of Blue Lake can't post to the Blue Lake Chamber web.
And is the multi-chamber mixer is happening at Perrigo Park in September? Do we know the date?
Yes, yeah, Crystal.
I want to share that, well, RCEA's meeting is Thursday, but tomorrow morning I get to go tour the spent radioactive fuel, part of the Humboldt Bay power plant.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Woo-hoo. Yeah, that's kind of fun. Kind of a fun, field trip after the Diablo Canyon tour.
Mm.
I think it's going to be not quite so exciting as Diablo Canyon, but.
Tell me how the Green Jolly Ranchers are. We had our HCOG board meeting. Rob Humland as the new executive director. He was very professional and kept the meeting going. It was only his fourth day, so we didn't have a lot to disclose. We did talk and discuss the Eureka Bridge repairs, which were somewhat of an emergency fix from my understanding. So they're making progress there. They were also looking at creating somewhat of a director position for Safe Routes to Schools, which they're just seeking a grant for it right now. Voted to approve them seeking the grant for it, but it does sound like it's a highly paid position. So we'll be looking at that in the future. Again, Blue Lake isn't going to, take on a large cost to that from my understanding, but we'll see. We're always, getting the small allocations of requests for funds, but it's something to always look out for Humboldt County in general as we, have to deal with budget issues and such. That's my report on that. Last call for commission updates or ad hoc committee reports.
I forgot. I'm supposed to let you know that RCEA would like a little spot in one of our agendas to make a presentation regarding rates.
I'd like to open this up for B and C for public comment. Anyone wish to speak on ad hoc committee reports or commission updates?
Thank you, Elise, for giving us the report from the Safety Commission. The neighborhood pods will also be having a booth set up at the Safety Commission. So for those of you who don't know what the pods are, I'm the leader of the H Street pod. And so we're really excited. We're going to present information and hopefully we'll get some more pods starting in town and help with neighbor to neighbor emergencies.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Julie, go ahead.
Thanks for being troopers, you guys. At least it's not 10. Yeah, September 12th is the date. That's when they're gonna have the big jamboree with the chambers and Humboldt Mead on top of the safety fair. That's why I think it would be really good to shove in that little commission booth. The RCA presentation, thank you, Elise. Yeah, that's some of the stuff that's coming to these cities that I say it's nice to participate and be aware of these other entities. Rebecca, the pods, right on. And just love the reports, you guys. Thank you, John, for yours. Yeah, HFOG's kind of one of the big ones. So thank you for participating, you guys, and bringing back the information for this stuff. I do my best to keep up, but you always give me a little bit more that maybe I didn't have time for. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Emily or PR?
Hi, everyone. Hearing about the public safety fair in the chamber, I think it might be a great natural fit to have another bike park input meeting. One of the objectives for the upcoming state parks grant is safe public use for parks. So it may be a great place to get ideas from the community regarding that particular aspect.
Thank you.
Thank
So-
you.
September 12th is also the Redwood Enduro.
Yeah,
Where is the chamber thing happening?
it's happening at Perigo Park, and I connected with the people organizing the Enduro and asked when they thought the best time would be to connect with the biking community in regards to the race schedule, and they actually suggested September 11th, hence the schedule change that you may see. But it's open to everybody in the general public, and that will be at the bike park itself for that particular outreach session.
Great.
Is he happening?
Yeah, how will we know about?
Oh, she has a flyer that'll be posted on the website. She showed it to me.
Okay.
All right. Future agenda items.
Oh, maybe Emily's hand is still up.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry. Have a good
That's
night.
okay.
Last call for public comment. Did you already comment on this item?
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
The other item, but not this one. Well, I'm sure at that chamber mixer, we will hear from a representative for the chamber, Justin there, his opinion as far as everybody in Blue Lake. So he seems to be able to voice his opinion without any restraint. It'll be interesting.
Right. Verda, go ahead.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, John. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I wanted to say, just mention, I heard what you said, John, that you are not able to post on behalf of the city as the mayor on the chamber page. And I think that we need some clarification on that page. I personally am a little confused. I've had community members reach out to me asking for clarification regarding the Facebook pages in general. And I think it's worth putting on the agenda to get some clarification going forward of who represents what page and maybe giving authority to the appropriate individuals for said pages, or at least just making the community aware of who runs the pages, like I mentioned. And also I wanted to say thanks to Lynn Glenn and and the Safety Commission. You know, she is a perfect example of a community member who I think goes above and beyond and spends so much time helping our community. And I'm sorry I joined late, but I just wanted to say that I think with the Facebook pages and I just found it very troubling that you said you're not able to post on the chamber page. We need to get aligned with one another and stop, you know, the division, and people shouldn't have to look at 15 different pages to see what's happening in the city. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I appreciate you guys, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
That's all. Yep, bye-bye.
Last call for public comment. Seeing none. Bring it back for future agenda items. Item number 16. Does anyone have any future agenda items? I'm going to start with staff first.
Some of the things that will be on there is the 23-24 audit will be brought to you for approval, and there'll be some letters, the annual ones that you'll need to send with it. Likely also there will be an item to modify the budget because we are going to end up expending 3 years worth of costs associated with doing the accounting and the auditing for 3 years of financial statements in one fiscal year. And so I will go through and explain in the previous years where it was budgeted and not spent. And so therefore it's now sitting in the balance in the general fund to be spent this year. But when you choose, you know, when you end up in that situation where you do 3 years in one, it's going to be more than what you had budgeted. So that'll be one of the items. Also, if enough of the 25-26 year-end closing is done, I will bring the draft financial statements for the fourth quarter, which will be year-end closing. They won't include like all the little depreciation things and stuff, but you'll have a pretty good understanding of where we're at for revenue and expenses. Okay.
So we blew our budget on accounting.
No, we did not. We prepared ourselves for grant applications.
Joking.
Loan applications.
Terry, any future agenda items? Elise, any future agenda items?
So
I have none at the moment. If I come up with something, can I bring it forward in the future? Michelle, any future agenda items?
I think we're gonna have another closed session.
Good.
And Kat's item will be on the next one too for the waiver policy.
And by closed session, you mean the city manager?
Evaluations.
Great.
Mhm.
All right.
And when we say next meeting, are we talking about and fourth Tuesday in September? So we're not meeting.
Oh, yeah, right. No, we can't.
Because we would
By
be,
yourself then.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair question, though. I mean, if we keep having, you know, like regularly, then it is a fair question to, or statement to say, we're not gonna have.
I should know
we
this.
did talk about having a special meeting, closed session only, to complete the staff evaluation.
Correct. Yeah, it's true.
Well, let's,
Staff as in plural?
No.
No, city manager.
Yeah.
Ah, another project.
you'll be good at it. That being said, we do have to open up for public future agenda items. Is that correct? Okay. Does the public wish to bring forward any future agenda items?
I just had a question. You guys said the 20th?
22nd. Of September, the 22nd.
Oh, of September.
Mhm.
So I heard you say the 13th of October, then October 7th, and then the 20th on Tuesday. Okay, so that was September. Sorry. Thank you.
Julie, do you have a future agenda item?
Yes, I just want to concur with our staff, with Jenny, with getting the past of concern. We were receiving letters in the past, you guys, when that was happening, that the prior manager wasn't giving information to the state. And that was slowing up the process. So I'm glad to have that done, and I'm sad to see it's dipping into our general fund now. But for the future items, I would love to see Dave for the waste or the watershed come back in give a little update, what they have figured out for the winter, maybe just a winter update. Maybe he's one of the speakers. Maybe we can get somebody from Caltrans. You know, we've got the couple representatives from Caltrans that speak up at HCOG. Maybe we can invite one of them that they can then clarify to the city what they've done with their culvert renovations above town here. And I think they would be more than willing to send somebody out for that. Maybe we could have a collaborative item and maybe some of the intel back, the report back from the manager. That would be great. I just would love to make sure that we're not freaking out before winter hits. The sandbag thing, all of that is very crucial information. Just getting it all wrapped into maybe one item where we have a couple people that could be guest speakers would be amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. Last call for public comment. Seeing none.
I had something I'd like to bring up. So we've talked a lot about ADUs and how in some cases ADUs could potentially be fulfilling some of our RENA allocation. And I had a chat months ago with Gary about looking at what the city may or may not be able to do in terms of making it easy for people to build an ADU. Removing some barriers, cost potentially for ADU construction. So I was wondering if that's something that we might be able to look into. I don't know, the next step to do something like that.
As a future agenda item, like a presentation?
Yeah, like,
There's not a lot of barriers. I mean, we follow the state law.
well, maybe we could learn more about what there is or isn't, or what the fees are. Because I know in some situations, another thing that I talked to Gary about at the same time was the sidewalk ordinance. And for a lot of people, there's a really big cost to the sidewalk ordinance that might prevent people from building an
I
ADU.
don't think you're allowed to implement that on an ADU.
So,
Oh, really?
I mean, if what we need is a presentation on what the ADU handbook says, which is likely where maybe the confusion comes from, then we can pay Gary to come out and do that, or I can give you a copy and you can read it. It's what we're using in the housing element, and it's what the city has adopted as our standard for ADUs.
Here.
Yeah. Or we can do a workshop or something. I mean, if you want to just be able to ask questions and stuff, there's very little. I mean, I watched Gary process an ADU last month. There's very little in the way of barriers for ADUs.
I mean, if there's room on the website, maybe like a FAQ on ADUs. Hey, did you know?
Yeah, and there was a schematic that I found online that we ended up using at the workshop down at the Grange. There was the public one, not the one with the council.
Uh-huh.
And it was really helpful for people to see, you know, you can put one in your front yard if it's this, and you can do this and visualize it a little more.
Yeah.
We didn't get to go to that.
any other future agenda items?
But I mean, this is gonna be an item you want on a future agenda. Are you wanting to do some research first and then have Gary come where you can ask questions?
Yeah.
All right. No more? Meeting's adjourned.
Oh,
Berta, did you already talk on this item?
I don't
No, she didn't.
think, no.
Berta, go ahead.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate Elise bringing this up, and I agree like with what Jenny was saying about doing my own research or us doing research, but for me it was more about the grant funding that's available for the potential of ADUs, and that's not really on the homeowner as much as it is on the city, I think, to be able to offer those opportunities for families and homeowners to build ADUs. So that was, it's something that I've thought about and we've talked about, and I know that prior members of council have discussed it also. And obviously it's not going to meet the whole housing element requirements, but it could alleviate some of the stress. So, we're fortunate, I think, that we've been ahead of the game with ADUs, and other areas are just now accepting them or bringing them, making them more common. So I just think it's something to look into. And like I said, it's more about the funding opportunities, and offering that to the community. I know quite a few years back, it was mentioned a few times on the city webpage. But it really wasn't encouraged, because I think at that time the focus was on Danco and the housing, uh, Danco basically. So I think that we kind of missed maybe some of our focus on other opportunities, because so much energy was going into one idea. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. And if there's no future agenda items, I'm going to adjourn the meeting.